Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Backpacktrader Training Room for Tuesday, May the 3rd, 2022. All right, the YM has a get in sync. Markets are a couple of minutes from opening. Right now, we have a valid get in sync short at 978. I believe that's where it is. Yeah, 978. And then we have a long setup at 987. Good morning, Miles. Good morning, Armando. Another minute to go before market open. Crude and unleaded have already, okay, the long has triggered, so 987 is our get in sync. The short is off the table. Good morning, John. And good morning, Steve. And the YM moving before the open, and that I think we just hit the open or very close to it. Yeah, there's the open, and too far, too fast. There's a possible short. That was definitely too fast to execute as it happened, and it did stop out. So looking for our first trade. Let's see. Soybeans picks up a short here. Let's see how much time we had to get in that. 10 seconds. Yeah, we should be in that. And another quick one and done on soybeans today. Soybeans hitting all three targets and in the trailer, in the trailing position now. Good morning, Pamela. The YM also went short to 6 seconds down to there, and no. First bar was 2 seconds, so not tradable, but it's still a valid get in sync. And money management missing target one on the YM, so a partial, and then we go long at 33,011. Trade number 2, if we can get to money management, it will be a POQ session. And there is money management. So this will be the power of quitting trade. And target 1 achieved, so definitely positive on the day as well. 28 for the stop. Target 2, and the YM making an up move. I believe target 3 was hit on the nose, or maybe one tick away. 78. And our high, yep, we hit it on the nose and stopping out at 49. So the YM is done. Soybeans going through the 3 targets there for 7, 11, and 16 ticks. So we get, 18, 34 ticks, 8.5 points on the targets, and our trailer, 1647 from the entry at 1650.25, so 3.25 points there. So 11.75 points on soybeans this morning. One and done. Pound Aussie in this original short back here, just hitting money management there. The trade was tracking the long but the stop and reverse and key levels would have taken you up to 76.58 for the entry. Note it plotted the entry at 54, being a stop and reverse. You wouldn't have a trade one tick in front of the 5s anyway, or yeah, 1 pip in front of the 5 anyway at 4. So it would push to 6, and then stop and reverse adjust would push it up to 58. So we would have stayed in the short. And as I say, we just hit money management. So we were in at 39. So our stop would be at 38 at the moment. So some more quick goings on today. All right. So the pound Aussie is in the initial short, looking to get to target. Our first actionable target is 76.23. But it looks like we came back up to 38, and that would be a break-even stop. A little bit of cost on the spread. Now we need to take a look at crude. Now we have a moment. Actually, we should look back at the Russell here. All right, 9:30 start. Yeah, it's right in here. Yeah, that closed at the open. That bar closed at the open. So our first possibility is this long. 1 second, 3 seconds. And 10 seconds down to here, but I would be surprised if we weren't already below the entry within 4 or 5 seconds. So I would say that trade was avoidable. The short is definitely a tradable trade. You got 2 bars with wicks, so you definitely had pullbacks to get into the entry, even if you didn't get the order in before it got there initially. And you had 6 seconds on the initial bar, so definitely in that trade. Target 3 and a nice trail right to target 4. And then we come back for another long that, let's see how I get 7 seconds, most likely, and that's a loss of a couple of ticks as we hit money management. And then we have a short, 3 seconds on the initial bar, 5 total there, 7, 8. I would say chances are that was not, well, I don't know. Now 3 seconds to the first bar, chances are you aren't going to get into that. So that one would have been a missed trade. Not executable. The short, 54. That one you're going to be in because it's 7 seconds to the entry. And taking the full stop there. Long as a break even. 1, still 1 second. And 6 seconds to money management. Depends on whether or not it pulled back the entry in there. But it's a break even nonetheless. So no major consequence either way. Looks like we actually got into this. Yeah, you definitely would be in this long, or in the short rather. It almost gets a stop and reverse, then comes back, hits money management, and we take a couple of 2 or 3 ticks. Looks like we take 2 or 3 tick loss. On the trailer there. One second, 3 seconds, 22 seconds, but there again, most likely down below the entry before you can get an order in. Okay, that long was 9 seconds, so it just depends on how quickly it went up, and depends on whether or not it hit the entry the first time up. That one you'd have to take a look at. It would be, if it hit the entry coming up on the setup and you could execute, it's a full stop. Otherwise, it's a no trade. Actually, if it didn't hit the entry, it would have hit the stop and come back to the entry. It may very well be a valid trade that's a winner. And let's see, you get money management on this bar. Now, it wouldn't be a winner, it'd be a break even. Let's see, did we get 14 ticks? The entry was 79.1, would have been 89.5. I'm sorry, 80.5. Excuse me. And we got to 80.8. So yes, that would have been a break even. And short trade, we haven't hit our minimum for break even. So that actually comes back and does give you a chance to get in. 3, still 3 seconds. Lots of time on the next bar. So most likely you're in that trade, getting targets 3 and 4, and something on the trailer. But that should be, I believe that we've met the maximum trades on the session. And can you get in this short? 2, 4, 5, 7. 7 seconds to money management. I would tend to doubt it unless you had a pullback somewhere in here. But it would have been pretty quick. But I would say, and that puts us current, and I would say we're done with the session this morning on that anyway. All right, crude. 5 seconds after our start time, we get this trade, the short trade from 103.89. Gives us plenty of time to get in, hitting targets 1 and 2, and a moderate trailer in between targets 1 and target entry and target 1 for a one and done session. Now then, for those on the pound Aussie, since we were still in this earlier short that ultimately hit money management and stopped out at break even, now we can get back in sync with the second short at 76.34, which it just hit. And so you would be short in that one, since we did not hit an actionable target on that trade. The subsequent short is still valid. So that was full crude. Micro crude, go back to 9 o'clock. Similar situation, 5 seconds after 9, plenty of time. It looks almost like exactly the same trade, except we only hit target 1 and come up and stop out for a few ticks. But that's a one and done session there as well. Unleaded gas. Starts off, this is a trade at 26 seconds after our start time, 26 seconds after 9. That is a trade off of the 200 EMA, which is one of your diamond level trades, but can be drawn in using the Fibonacci tools on either TradeStation or NinjaTrader. Entry at 46.77 and should be probably in it initially, but certainly you'd have plenty of time to get in, have your order in when it comes back up and touches the entry and hits the entry. So you're definitely in it. Picking up target 46.12 for 65 ticks. And stopping out at 46.36 from 46.77 for another 31 ticks on the trailer. No, actually, stop was here. Yeah, 46.36 from 46.77. I'm sorry, 41 ticks on the trailer. So 106 ticks on that trade. And one and done there. So both crude charts, unleaded, the YM, all one and done, and soybeans all one and done. Actually, the YM was two and done. It got a partial money management trade and then the solid win on the long, but profitable session nonetheless. Soybeans we looked at. All right, micro. In queue this morning. Wow, looks like a lot of bars already. Looking for there we go, 934. When you are seeing seconds on the timestamps, you know that it's moving rapidly. Of course, exchange time is central time on this. Start time would be 8:34 central time. Wait 4 minutes after the start. And so it's already stopped out before our start time. Our start time is on this bar after the stop out. So definitely avoiding the short. The long gets, actually the long has a wick back here. And it's only 4 seconds to there. So and that one would be too fast to trade. He ends up getting target 2 and small trail. In the short, I would say that's avoidable. Yeah. The spike through was on the same second, and just 6 seconds to go back almost within a tick or two of the stop. So that trade is avoidable. And the long 4, 7, and I think from watching these catapult Renko charts a little bit, I would not try to get in sync with it coming back, pulling back from the entry. I would wait for it to come through the entry and go back up or down, depending on whether it's a long or a short. So that trade, I would have avoided that trade with that method, because it often you get this kind of things that it just goes through slightly and comes back and stops out. So unless it comes back up through, I would say we stay out of those. All right, short is 43, 4, 8, and then you have a wick up here, so definitely in sync in that on that trade. Targets 2, 3, 4, big trailer, even hitting the 156 tick fixed target, and probably over 100 ticks on the trailer. So that is a nice solid win there. And we said that one was too fast to catch. Yeah, it was just 4 seconds to the close of that bar, even though it had a wick down here. So very difficult, if not impossible, to get in. Yeah, that one definitely went too far, too fast. Yeah, it's already at money management in 3 seconds into the trade. But yeah, so a big solid win there. Okay, this one I would definitely be in the long. It doesn't, and it actually stops in reverse. It looks like maybe a tick. Maybe 2 ticks above the stop, or reversing on the stop. Actually, you've taken the speed that went through, you've taken the full stop and avoided the short. Okay, bar 2 was 7 seconds with the wick down here, so very likely to be in that trade. Target 2, 3, 4, and trailing up between target 1 and 2. That's 2 solid wins. Actually, that's 3 or 4 wins. But with those 2 multi-target wins, I would say let's call that a morning. Take that to the bank. Heating oil, 8:30 or 9:30 Eastern time start. Hey, money management in the same second, so that one's no trade. That one's very likely avoidable. Spikes to the entry and back up, but you'll have to check it to be sure for it's not a full loss. It was 22 to, and then you got 25 seconds on the bar. That very well may have been a case where it niggles you in and knocks you out. So count that as a full stop out. And we have another short. Lots of time to get into that one too. 23 seconds. I would say that one is, yeah, that one doesn't hit money management, so should be in that. Hitting target 3 and 4. Nice trailer. And there is another one of those. It was 6. That one was only 6 seconds to the close of the bar down here, halfway between the entry and stop. So I would say that one's probably avoidable. And no trigger on the short. Another one of the just barely trigger in and pull back. So let's see what setup was. 23, 19 seconds. Just depends on how long it took to get to the entry. Possibly avoidable, possibly a full stop out. I'll count that as a full stop out. No trigger on the short. And the long, plenty of time to get into that. Triggers 4 bars in, on the 4th bar in. And that is a break-even trade. And then the short that has almost a minute on that bar, has 40 or 50 seconds on that bar immediately after the setup. And I would pick that up coming back up, down anyway. And that is a break even coming back down. So no trigger on the long. That long just touches the entry. 4 seconds, so that one's avoidable. No trigger on that long. 4 seconds to money management. That one's that one's too fast. And we're at 10 o'clock now. Oops. We're at 10 o'clock, so I'm need to take a look at the 10 a.m. crude session. Unfortunately, I'm not getting to trade the 10 a.m. crude session. Let's see. Micro takes a full stop on trade 1. And waiting for, excuse me. All right, same thing. The full contract takes a full stop on the first trade and a full stop on the second trade. That ends that session on the full contract at a loss. On the micro, waiting for our second trade. right. Whew. So we're waiting for 10 a.m. micro crude for a second trade. There it is, short at 0474. No entry as yet. Looks like it's definitely slowing down on an upward move. And trade is still valid. We've not had any closes above the balance line yet. There's a close on the balance line, so that still doesn't count for a close bar. For a cancel bar. Okay, that bar that counts as a cancel bar. And I believe this one will. We're at 87. We got to 96. So yeah, this is going to close above, so that'll cancel the trade. Bar is going to close one tick above the, even if it goes down, it's going to close one tick above the balance line. So. And there it is. Short trade cancels. So still looking for second trade of the mini session. Looks like it's kind of in a consolidation now after that strong up move 10 minutes before 10 minutes before 10. And another short at 72. Get in sync. It spiked through, but I was obviously too fast to execute on the coming through. It'd be nice to adjust below the 50, but too big an adjustment at this point. And triggering in. So targets are 52 and 41. And now we've got to work down through the 50 EMA. If we get down through this, we've got a possibility of reverting back to the 200 EMA for a good solid trade. There's a close below, but not able to maintain it. I'm seeing some solid steps down there. And now continuing to move down. Getting one tick away from money management. And there's money management. And target 1. Stop at 71. And working down toward target, there's target 2. So that loss on the first trade was 34 ticks on 2 positions. Targets 1 and 2 on that trade are worth 51. So 17 ticks positive after 2 trades. And that is a POQ on this 10 a.m. session. Heating oil just looking to be awfully noisy to try to get anything going in. Yeah, same second to money management, so that one's too fast to trade. They're just back and forth. That would kind of, a lot of these trades too fast. So I would say that's pretty much a done session on heating oil. Any other questions this morning? I had the chat covered up there for a few minutes. All right. And crude stopping out at 104.56. Done for the session. So everything pretty well done. Let's take a quick look at the micro ES. And we get a setup right at 10 o'clock. And that's, as I said, I give it the next bar to trigger in, which it did. And unfortunately, comes back and gives it a full stop out. That's a shame. Because it set up with a nice, it had pulled back to the session open and just roared back up, and the setup occurred just below this previous swing high, and it went well through that, and then pulled back hard. So just losing trade. Nothing really to do to avoid that one. Questions or comments this morning? Pound Aussie still in the second short. Not a lot of movement on the charts this morning. All right, looks like success on the subsequent long, and in another short already on the micro crude. Not that we're taking those, because we are at power of quitting. Oh, I know what we hadn't looked at. We didn't look at the unleaded catapult trades. 20 tick range bar. Let's go back to 845 on that. there's 8:43. Same second to money management. So there's that one's too fast. You got 19 seconds there to the entry. So that one is that one's a win. Targets 3, 4, and trailer to just above target 2. Solid win there. $44 on that bar. The question is how quickly did it go through the entry? Not getting to target 3 and coming back for a break even. So that's probably just a break even trade anyway. Getting one tick. Okay, now we have a long. Got plenty of time to get the order in, and it then triggers in, goes very quickly to target 3. It looks like 9:03:30. So 2 minutes and 39 seconds to almost a full minute before it triggers in. Yeah, 50 seconds to the last bar before it triggers, and then bouncing up hard. Hopefully you get filled on that if you're using a stop limit order. It might have blown through it and not gotten filled. But anyway, target 3 and a couple of ticks on the trailer. And that's two solid winners and a break even. Lots of time looks like to get into the short trade. Yeah, 10 seconds to the close of the first bar. Another 19 to the close of the next one. So definitely in that. Targets 3, 4, and big trade. This is your home run trade of the morning. And that one is one I would call it a day on. There's no use in risking the profits to keep trading after a trade like that. Yeah, break even if it's tradable. Full loss, just spiking through. Probably avoidable, but another break even trade. And missing the up move, unfortunately. But yeah, that's where I would have ended my session. So, successful morning. I think the 10 a.m. crude on the full contract was the worst result we had, getting 2 full losses. All right. I don't see anybody typing any questions. Oh, okay, we're back down around the entry on the pound Aussie. That's the only chart that's still active, actually. Not able to get far from the moving averages. All three of them bunched right together there. 20 SMA, the 50 EMA, and the 200 EMA. If we can get down and break that last swing low on the pound Aussie, we might have a good chance of getting some targets here. Having hit break even on having hit a money management trade on the first one, if we can get to money management, this will be a POQ trade. Money management or target one. Target one is a primary target for power of quitting as well. I'll give it to 10:30 or so. See if it can get through this little swing level. Looks like if it can get through this, it's got a pretty good little run to that next little swing level just down below target one, back before these trades triggered in. And trying to push down. If it can break down below 76.20, I think we got a good shot. And making money management So this will be a POQ trade. The question is, will it get some targets? Money management is at 17.1. And we got as low as, oh no, we missed money management by 1 tick. Got ever so close. Given that, and that the entry is just below all three of those moving averages, with the 200 EMA at 76.35.7, I think I'm going to bring my stop to 76.37 plus spread. I'm seeing about 3 pips right now, so I'm going to bring my stop to 76.40. Okay, now we definitely got through the money management, so stops can come to your break-even level, 1 pip below the entry. And target 1, so definitely getting through the first target, and will definitely be a POQ session. And it looks like we have a possible long trade on the micro ES 9:30 session. Sets up right on the beginning of the session. Big trade. 13.75 points to target 1, and the risk is 15.25 points. All right. So now all we've got to watch the micro ES and the pound Aussie. 5-minute chart of the micro ES and the 8 pip momentum or range bar on the pound Aussie, and neither one of which tend to be very fast movers. Looks like the pound Aussie finding a little resistance point right around 78.10 or 76.10. Looking for 76.05 for target 2. And now heating oil showing up some profitable trades. Micro ES got a little over 5 points of progress, and now coming back to the entry. And we have a lower swing low on the pound Aussie. So now the question is, will it continue? Stop is now down to 76.32. And the Russell, heating oil and crude both indicating a very significant downturn. Heating oil especially. Soybeans moving down solid. YM moving down. Micro ES seems to be moving down in the last 5 minutes. All right. Looks like the rest of the session is watching a couple of slow-moving charts, so I am going to call it a morning. Let everybody get on with their day. So we will see everybody tomorrow for the regular Wednesday morning session with Troy, and the crude oil inventory report at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow with Troy. So everyone have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow.